Good evening, everybody. Welcome to round 11 and 12 of the Scientist Reverse Grid League Tier 2. And we're starting off tonight at the Sochi Autodrome in Russia. And then we'll be moving across the Caspian Sea, across the desert to Bahrain at the Sakir International Circuit. And as you can see, we've got a wet start for the Russian Grand Prix. Interesting. Well, if you're going to bet on one wet race tonight, you would bet Russia or Bahrain for sure. So while everyone's loading their setup, you can see listed on the right side, and you'll see the grid order. Lap gets underway. Shout out to the following drivers standing tonight: PR Bob Neal, KSO and Wayne Bennett. And PR Oliver is making his debut in Tier 2 tonight as a full timer. So while everything's loading up, I'm update on championship standings after the last two, which we had in Mexico and Canada. So Nick, who is our leader from the outset, has moved Tier 1 to race Xander. So we won't see Nick in Tier 2 anymore. So while I get everything set up here to doing this, we do not want the telemetry. There we go. So, as I was saying, the championship standings. So our new leader in the championship is Ray Azzudin in the Mercedes on 117 points, followed by Ultimate Stan on 105, then Jim Ranium on 94, Angry Orange on 90. So, fairly tight gap between those top four. And then in 5th place we've got Ryan Van Doom on 41, Casto on 36, Corleone on 31, Desert Rat on 27, D'Acunha on 25, and then Vans Racing rounding out the top 10 on 18 points. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari are dominating that with 276 points, then followed by Red Bull on 133, Renault on 125, and Mercedes on 122. So a nice battle there for second place at the moment. For more details, check out the Discord for all the complete standings. So, Russian Grand Prix, everyone is starting on the intermediate tyres. We can't tell for sure if we're going to have changeable conditions. It doesn't look like it's raining heavily, if anything, so there is a good chance we might see a transition to dry tyres at some stage in this race. Well, as Duradin leads the field round very tentatively on this formation lap, we're probably looking for the areas of grip, taking his time to warm the tyres up. It's quite a long lap around Russia, about 1 minute 33 or 32 is a lap time here on the dry. Probably about 7 to 8 seconds on top of that for inters, plus 10 seconds on top of that for wet tyres, as the field the start of the Grand Prix. So Duradin and the AlphaTauri in the front row with Vans Racing in the wheels. So will we see the Codemasters pause? Yes. Long pause, and here we go. So Duradin gets a good start, and the Renault there of Corleone jumping up a couple of places. Oh, and we've got a crash at the back with the Haas spinning right round. And with an incident with Angry Orange, and Doradin gets through turn 1 nice and cleanly. Further back, very difficult to get through there cleanly, but most of the field do a pretty good job between Geranium and Ryan Van Doom, which has led to a 5-second penalty. But as it stands, Doradin leads cleanly through turn 1, followed by Corleone and Spaceman. Gingerly getting around. Fast left-hander, very easy to lose it. Everyone is just being very tentative in these places. We had a collision there with Psychopath in the Haas. I think it was Angry had to come out of the way because of a penalty awarded there. Some penalties appearing for corner kicking, and Acuna has Basketball Boy, and a few other of his Basketball Boy incident has gone backwards. So Basketball Boy has got front wing damage, so he's fallen down the order. Meanwhile, back at the front, but he's now being challenged by Space, and Doradin runs really wide there, cuts back and I think it was a Corleone, and Spaceman is for the end of the first one, and the best camera angle forgot Corleone going down the inside of Doradin into the final corner here. Spaceman leading the Grand Prix, and look at Angry Orange now. Freeway battle for second place. Angry Orange is looking to be the meat in a Doradin Corleone sandwich, but Corleone is now blocking that attempt as they head down to turn 1. And that nicely defended from Corleone. A position change there between Van Drayson, who started quite high up, is now falling down the order, so I wonder if he's got damage. Got a couple of cars in Path and Basket. And our championship leader is down in P11 and is catching Castle France in the Red Bull. And so Castle's looking at racing here. One collision between Vans and Castle there. Probably getting the shape of the lack of grip caused by the wet track and the intermediate tyres getting up to temperature. And we've got a bit of a bottleneck here, which has been led by Ultimate Stan, who's got past Acuna in that melee. Ultimate Stan started quite far back, has already made up a lot of places. Let's take a look at positions gained on the open lap, and but Stan's made up 9 places. So he's done well to do that, to get that far, but the Orange places off the start. Spaceman, they're up 5 positions, so starting the Haas, contrast that Psychopath, who's down P20. Of course, penalties may come into play here towards the race. So the predicted pit stop strategy is enters to the end. So it doesn't. So according to that, it looks like we're going to just have these conditions for the whole race. But we'll wait and see. We've got a few guys. We've got Oliver and Doradin in the pit lane, and Ryan Van Doom. So both AlphaTauris are having to stack, and that is not ideal. So let's have a look. We've got Stan now chasing down Corleone and Renault. And that Desert Run getting a bit out of shape there, going into the end of Sector 1 there. And a bit of a queue forming behind him, led by Jim Rainier and the second Mercedes of Rhea Zudden. And Castle France. Oh, and Rhea Zudden had to get out of it, out of dodge there. The brakes and evasive action to avoid getting damage on the car. And doing so, Castle France, or would you rather? So that's not a leader, but this is the early stages of the race. Anything can happen in the next 10 laps or so. As we head back up to the lead, Angry Orange has closed the gap to Spaceman. It's in fact, he's right on the gearbox of the Haas, and Spaceman goes wide. Angry Orange takes an alternate line through that corner, but Spaceman has a better exit as they head down to the final two corners. 90-degree right-handers, or almost 90 degrees. I am no mathematician, but anyway, what I do know is that Angry Orange is going to get a good slipstream. DRS is not activated, of course, in the wet conditions, as D'Cunha showing a bit of pace, setting the fastest lap, and Angry Orange is going to pull a move on here on Spaceman, inside line, and that is a textbook manoeuvre. DRS not required there, and Angry Orange is leading the Grand Prix. And Stan now has got past Corleone, and it looks like D'Cunha, who's showing some real strong pace in this early stage of the race, and he has a collision with Corleone, and that has cost D'Cunha dear. It looks like Corleone might have turned in on D'Cunha, and that forced D'Cunha into the wall, and that is gutting for D'Cunha, who was showing really strong pace, setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So he'll be hoping that we get a safety car, and in fact we've got full yellows, and oh, what's happened there? A Red Bull on the wall. Was that Castor France? Not sure what was happening there, but oh, the Ferrari. So we've got Doradin has left the session. I wonder if that's a retirement, but we've got a Ferrari and a Red Bull coming together there. What on earth happened there? Just caught it in the bottom of the screen. But we've got full yellow flags, and Castor France has got a penalty for gaining a collision under the position under the yellow flag. So it looked like we had a virtual safety car because the track is now green again. Well, that might be reported in the incident reports later on. But nevertheless, Angry Orange is now pulled out a 2-second lead on Spaceman, and now Ultimate Stan is catching the Spaceman. And I think Would You Rather, in fact Castro's had to come into the pit, so maybe he's got damage with that. It looked like it was the Ferrari of Off-Neil that he had it coming together with, and indeed he's got front wing damage, and he'll put on fresh intermediate tyres. And in the back there, I think that's the Mercedes crew coming out for yeah, indeed it is. And Hill Train is another man who's been in the wars. He's coming in for a pit stop and a front wing change. Let's head back to... So Doradin's rejoined the session, so he may be disconnected. Off-Neil doesn't seem to have any damage himself. And Riazadin is now back up into the top 10 after that evasive action that he took earlier to avoid colliding. Better to do that than get a front wing end plate damaged and lose a lot of downforce and compromise the race. But does the track look like it's drying out a little bit? There doesn't seem to be any spray on the track. Be interesting. Let's have a look at D'Cunha. Any of the guys are pitted. Have they gone on to dries? Yes, D'Cunha has gone on to the medium tyres. Hill Train is on the prime hard tyres, and Casto. So Casto's opted to stay on the inters. He's obviously thinking the track's still a bit too wet, but D'Cunha has taken a huge gamble here. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Ultimate Stan still setting fastest laps on a 1:46, so that suggests to me the track isn't quite there yet. Once the lap times start tumbling down to the high 130s, that's a telltale sign that we'll have a switch to the prime tyre, but D'Cunha might come into play later on in this race. Ultimate Stan is now leading the race, so what happened to Angry Orange is pitted for prime, so yes, everyone's now coming into the pits. Maybe they had the notification that the DRS is now active. Orange goes onto the softs. Now they should get to the end with 7 laps left. So Stan is leading the race. Oh, what's that? We've got a problem with Corleone. as he's struggling on those intermediate tyres. He's been passed by Ray Zudden and Othniel. So let's have a look at Stan. And Ray Zudden has got past Wayne Bennett in the Alfa Romeo. So Ray Zudden doing well after that earlier incident. Let's have a look at the tyre situation. So we've got Angry Orange and Jim Ranium on the softs, Vans on the softs, D'Acunha on the medium, Ryan Van Doom on the medium, and Hilltrain on the hard tyres, which seems to be a little bit of an odd choice of tyre. Maybe there was an issue with the MFD. And now we've got all the leaders filing into the pits. So Stan goes onto the medium tyres. Is losing time in the pits, it seems, because he was getting held up by other cars pitting in front of him. Spaceman looks like he's serving a penalty. Othniel in the Ferrari now takes the lead of the Grand Prix, but he will definitely have to pit. And Angry Orange on the faster tyre is coming down towards Stan, who's come out in the lead but runs wide on cold tyres on a still mildly damp track, and Angry Orange takes the lead. So Ultimate Stan has done well to come out in effectively a net P2, but he is on a tyre compound slower than Angry Orange on the softs. So it'll be interesting to see. It looks like we've got a two-way battle for the race win here between Angry Orange and Ultimate Stan, with the other Ferrari of Othniel definitely needing to pit now because we have dry conditions. Gymranium in P3 on soft tyres is being chased down by Would You Rather, who is looking really quick and is going to try and pull a move with DRS, and does so. Nothing Gymranium can do about that. So Would You Rather in his Williams will be up into a net P3. And Castle France, I think, will be ruining his decision to stay out on Inter tyres. And look at that, we've got an Alfa and a Mercedes pulling off the move on Castro, who's just going backwards on these tyres. And so that's the Alfa of Wayne and the Merc of Reyes Zudden, and Reyes has got a better exit out of that corner and takes the Alfa Romeo, as we see the Ferrari of Othniel in the pit now, who's going to drop way down the order. In fact, that's Othniel coming into out the pit exit, so actually he's done incredibly well to remain in the top 10, and he's getting a bit of a belly dance on there, and it looks like he's run wide. He's done the exact same thing as his teammate on cold tyres, run wide at turn 1, but it still comes out in a relatively pretty good P9. So that Ferrari showing pace. So D'Acunha, who unfortunately had that incident earlier in the race with Corleone, has not been able to take advantage of pitting earlier. It wasn't quite the right time to pit. So now that we know everyone's on dry tyres, let's have a look at the penalty situation. And Ultimate Stan and Would You Rather side by side. Would You Rather must have had the DRS on Ultimate Stan, and he gets him. Well, that was a robust battle between those two. So Would You Rather up into P2. So the soft tyre is clearly the tyre to be on at this stage. Will they last for the rest of the race? Gymranium now is beginning to catch Ultimate Stan in P4 and Desert Rat in P5. Spaceman in P6, but that might all well change with the penalties. And Would You Rather now sets the fastest lap of the race, but Angry Orange has a buffer of around 2.5 seconds. Reyes Zudden sets the fastest lap, so the more laps these guys do, That's the second time this has happened. What are the chances? That's twice that's happened. I wonder if it's something to do with my internet. Anyway. That's annoying. I was just getting exciting again. Voice of tire maybe. That's annoying. I was just getting exciting again. Well, I've had to resort to this, watching someone else's YouTube stream. And I'm watching Dacuna's, so I'll be able to commentate the race from his perspective. Dacuna is currently sitting in P11. So Riazudin's fastest lap of the race. Now Othniel sitting fastest lap of the race. So the track is getting drier and drier. I don't know if you can actually see this. I'm actually commentating on his feed here. I don't think you can. But anyway, Wayne Bennett in 9th, Corleone 10th, Dacunya 11th, Eskimo 12th, Pierre Oliver in 13th. Dacunya using up all his ERS on this. But what we will see at least is the final point standings at the end of the race. So we're on lap 12-13. Dacunya going for sector 1, the long left-hander now. He's on the medium tyres. And we've got a position change. And it looks like Offneil's fallen to 9th place. Corleone in 10th. So Corleone's got 9 seconds of penalties. Dacunya's got, I think, 12 seconds there. Eskimo in 3 seconds, and Oliver has got 3 seconds. So, and on the little mini map on Dacunya's screen, we've got Eskimo within about 2.5 seconds behind. So I don't think he's going to trouble him there. Oliver and Eskimo are fairly close together on track, so less than a second, in fact. So might see a position change. So Reyes gets another fastest lap, 1:33.4. So we're definitely full on dry conditions now. They're lapping around about 10 to 13 seconds quicker than what they were on the inter tyre. So that's going to be. As Dacunya comes around the final corner to start. Final lap of the race. Heading fast past the pit complex down the long straight into turn 1. Very easy to cut that chicane. It takes a nice line through there, and then it's full throttle on the left-hander. Hug the rubble strip like it's your favourite grandparent, and then hard for the right-hander. Again, get as much acceleration out there as possible. Used on all his ERS as they go through a series of 90-degree lefts and rights, and then on to the back straight. So we're probably going to get the announcement of the race winner very shortly. Ryan Van Doom has retired from the session, and Angry Orange, who was leading the race when we got disconnected, has won the race. So congratulations to Angry Orange and the Red Bull. Yellow flag in the start finish straight, so looks like a few cars have had a come together on the final pit straight. Checker falls, and in fact Would You Rather is showing the race winner on the top left of my screen. So did our Angry Orange incur some penalties? So Dacunya finishes 30. So yes, indeed, Would You Rather is the race winner, by Angry Orange, Ultimate Stand, Desert Rat, Reyes Zudin, Jim Ranium, Wayne Bennett, Spaceman, Offneil and Corleone picking up the final championship point. Just the one DNF, and that was Ryan Van Doom. As I take a photograph of the final positions on my mobile phone. I don't even call them mobile phones these days. Smartphones. Anyway, congratulations to Would You Rather, who wins the race by 2.2 seconds. Angry Orange crossed the line first on track, but obviously had some penalties. So Would You Rather gets his first win of Tier 2, I believe. And we'll stay with this to see who gets Driver of the Day and the extra championship point. And it is indeed Would You Rather. So 26 championship points minimum, as Would You Rather skips onto the podium, lifting the trophy aloft, joined on the podium by Angry Orange and Ultimate Stan, who might well be taking the championship lead with that podium, considering where Reyes finished. I think Reyes finished in P5, so a points gain of 5 plus 5 is maybe not quite enough to take the lead. But he did get the fastest lap though, did Riazadin. So congratulations to the Mercedes man. As I get another photograph of that, just in case we need to review any incidents later on. So would you rather P1, Angry Orange P2, Ultimate Stand P3, Desert Rat P4, Riazadin P5, Jimranian 6th, Wayne Bennett 7th, Spaceman 8th, Off Neo 9th, and Corleone rounding out the top 10. I will leave the party chat and get the grid set up for Bahrain, and hopefully I will not get disconnected this time, so please join me for that. Okay, so take two, Bahrain. Fingers crossed we are uninterrupted. Welcome everyone to the second race of tonight's line circuits. Bahrain, which has been on the F1 calendar since 2004, I believe. So it's been a mainstay on the calendar for some time, and I think it's a really good track. It divides opinion, I think, amongst a few people, but it's one I enjoy driving. But so just to quickly remind everyone of the final standings from the last race in Russia, which we were unfortunately unable to capture. Would You Rather won the race, followed by Angry Orange and Ultimate Stan in P3, and then we had Desert Rat P5, Rhea Zudden, who had the fastest lap, Jimranium 6th, Wayne Bennett 7th, Spaceman 8th, Othniel 9th, Corleone 10th, PR Oliver 11th, Eskimo 12th, Dacunia was 13th, Vans Racing was 14th, Castle France 15th, Basketball Boys 16th, Hilltrain 17th, Psychopath 18th, and Duradin, who's on pole for this race. And Ryan Van Doom was the only driver that did not get details all set up. I think we've got everything actually good to go. Yes, we do. And we've got a disqualification for Castle France and Vance Racing for a collision on the formation lap, and just to remind everyone that these guys aren't actually disqualified from the race, they're just disqualified from the formation laps, so they will respawn on the starting grid with cold tyres. So that's the disadvantage you get from collision on formation lap relative to the rest of the field, who will be lighting up their tyres, warming up their brakes to allow them the best possible getaway at the start and enough temperature in the tyres to make the braking points and get those apexes. And essentially that's what you want at the start of the race in order to pull away from your competitors. So Duradin is flying around the track here on the formation lap. He's not wasting any time, he's absolutely bolted along with Psychopath. So a lot of the guys in the midfield are taking the time to get the temperature and weaving. So maybe Duradin, Psychopath and Hilltrain didn't get the memo. But anywho, let's have a look at the tyre strategy. So Basketball Boy is the first of the front runners to start on the medium compound tyre. Then we have to go down to PR Oliver 9th, Othniel in 11th, and Ryan Van Doom on the medium tyres. So majority of the field going for the soft tyres, interestingly. So you'd think maybe some of the guys further down the field might go for the alternate strategy, start on the harder compound tyres and get to the end. So we'll have to see if the alternate strategy pays off for those guys. They'll be hoping they don't have to make an early stop and end up having to go onto the hard tyre. So 4 lights, 5 lights. Let's not get too excited because we have the Codemasters glitch. And we've got a drive-through penalty for Othniel jumping the start. And you can see that there, the Ferrari has just bolted through the field. But he will have a drive-through penalty, and let's have a look at the back. We've got a whole bunch of cars getting sandwiched there. And that's a Mercedes being spun round. I think it's Dacunia, and we've got A couple of cars visiting the site of Roman Grosjean's crash there. Thankfully they didn't burst into flames. And wow, we've got some action early on here between the Haas, and that's the racing point of PR Oliver there, making a good start. So some side-by-side action there. I think Angry Orange picked up a penalty for overtaking under a yellow flag, possibly. So Othniel with his drive-through will have to serve that. So Doradin is effectively the race leader still. So for the second race in a row, he's kept the lead of the race. But Basketball Boy on those medium tyres is making a move down the inside to take the lead. And that's the best possible start for him as Doradin runs really wide through that corner, and Psychopath will take P2 from Doradin, who's being now swallowed up by the second Haas driver of Spaceman and Rhea Zudden now. Look at this, a freeway sprint down to that final corner, and Rhea Zudden is going to get a good, better exit than Doradin, I think, and yes indeed. Doradin really wide at that corner. As Basketball Boy on is leading the race because Othniel is now pitted. And the leaderboard's going a little bit crazy here. In fact, Othniel is bolted. He has decided to just go for it. And we got a yellow flag down at turn 1. As we've got a lot of guys, we've got loads of guys in the pits. In fact, we've got Eskimo and Hill Train, Angry Orange, and the both, oh my word, both Red Bulls and both McLarens are having an absolute nightmare. Pitting, double stacking, losing valuable time. And Basketball Boy is now fallen down the order. Has he picked up damage? He made such a great start. In fact, that's PR Oliver. Basketball Boy, yes, he's still down there in P7, so he was leading the race but is now just going backwards. Maybe he made a mistake. It doesn't. Yes, he's lost an end plate, so yes, he has damage, and he's going to be at the mercy of all the other drivers there. Oliver, his teammate, and that's an Alpha of Wayne Bennett. So the championship leader Rhea Zudden chasing down Psychopath. Othniel has decided not to pit to serve his drive-through penalty. So obviously with that drive-through you're not allowed to make a pit stop, as Reyes thinks about going for a move on Psychopath. Psychopath early on the brakes there. Reyes gains a lot of time. An incident on sector 2 of the track, and Reyes is going to just ease past Psychopath with the DRS here and effectively take the that Othniel. I keep wanting to say Oatmeal, just looking at his name, but let's be respectful and call him by his proper name, Othniel. To serve that penalty. And now we've got the Haas driver. Now, Steiner, how are your nerves, son? Psychopath. Williams, or would you rather, who started P19. Fantastic drive from him up P5 already, and look at the two Haas cars exchanging places there. It's just a bold tactic from the two Haas guys to keep the Williams behind them. One Psychopath gets very wide there, and that's going to allow Would You Rather to take the position, and Stan gets really wide, but also Psychopath's going to come back up at Would You Rather. And Othniel finally takes his driving penalty as we have a 3-car battle, and it's that another Ferrari in the pits. It's ultimate Stan. Has he decided to pit early? No, from wind change, so he has had an incident on track somewhere that we did not pick up on camera. So Spaceman and Would You Rather battling for the top 2 positions as Reyes pulls out the gap, and it's looking pretty ominous at this stage of the race. Let's have a look at the back. and Hill Train, who both pitted early for front wing changes. Castlefranc going down the inside of McLaren. McLaren gets a better exit though. And we've got Corleone in the pits now on the horse. So he's got damage there. I wonder if that's what the yellow flag in sector 2 was. And then Angry Orange and D'Acunha have also had to pit after incidents in the first lap or so. I said back to the Haas battle. The Gunther will be saying we look like a bunch of some things, but at the moment his boys are in the top 4, so can't complain too much. And Spaceman is actually catching Would You Rather, or Would You Rather's actually got past him, I think. They've changed places somewhere in the middle of the lap. So nonetheless, oh, and Spaceman has actually got DRS on Would You Rather, and there's a collision, or Spaceman lagging slightly. I wonder if this the Spaceman, is he actually driving from near Earth orbit? It might explain some of the erratic connection issues that seem to be. Basketball Boy sets the fastest lap on soft tyres, but I doubt that he'll struggle to get them to the end. So off Neo, after serving that drive-through penalty, is managed to get himself up to 7th place, but it's a pit stop. Incredible, considering he obviously thought I'll just go for it. Despite making the jump start, I will lose position. I know I've got the pace again. So that's quite incredible to see him still in peace. And he's trying to get past Germanium, whose car is quite intensely there. And Germanium runs wide and concedes the place to Othniel, maybe waiting for the DRS to take it back on the start-finish straight. As Ryan Van Doom watches that battle. In fact, Germanium's pitting. So it'll be around about the time to pit, I think, to go from softs to mediums. And Germanium damage as well by the look of it, so he's lost a lot of time in the pits there. Look at this one. PR Oliver making his debut in Tier 2 tonight in the Racing Point as a full-timer, and he is chasing down the Haas of Psychopath, and Oliver is on the medium compound tyres, so he'll be on the soft towards the end of the Grand Prix and looking rather pacey, and we've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Let's see how if Oliver can make the move on Psychopath here. He takes a very wide line in that corner. As down as possible. Psychopath seems to have the pace in the corners and not the best line there. Or he's lost a lot of time there to Psychopath, but still within DRS range. About 9/10 of a second. And that's heavy on the brakes there. A big lock up there. Psychopath doesn't. And indeed Oliver does have the DRS, so let's have a look, see how powerful the slipstream is here as they head down to turn 1, that hard braking zone. Not quite there, but maybe for the next slow straight here with the DRS. And Oliver has got a much better exit there. And a little bit of a tap there to let him know he's there. And a little bit of wheel banging, but no damage, nothing malicious there. Oliver gets the move done. And we've got some pit stops happening. We've got Vans racing in the pits, and Duradin also. And D'Acunha, Wayne Bennett, and in fact Basketball Boy, who is leading the race at the very start, now having a battle with Stan, and I think Stan has come out on top there because he's now up to 8th place. And getting up and good for ultimate stand. Let's have a look at this. Othniel and Othniel now is on the back of the Haas driver. Coming out of that corner. Let's have a look at the ERS. So much ERS. In fact, Othniel's going to pit. Of course, he started on the medium tyres, served the drive-through already. And we'll jump onto the soft tyres for the rest of the race. Our race leader, our next race leader, Riaz Zudin, is also pitted. So he's out on the medium tyres, so... Incredibly, Othniel is kind of still come out P5, I think. P6, oh, here we go, we've got some cars coming out now, and that's Ultimate Stan, the Ferrari teammate. And Othniel had to back out of it there and has lost a couple of positions, but incredibly, he's still in P7 after a drive-through penalty on the medium tyres, and then switched to the soft tyres, and now he's going to take Basketball Boy here and join his teammate in the top 5, in the top 6. So quite incredible drive from Othniel to get that far, pick up that many places. So the two Ferraris in the stern, and Othniel is on the faster compound tyre. He's going to pull a move on Ultimate Stan with the DRS here, and he's now up to P5. And the 4 guys in front of him all on medium tyres. Othniel could be the first of this race. He's absolutely flying around this track. Oh, and we've got a safety car. What was the safety car for? Basketball has retired from the position. Oh, and that's why he's obviously spun it out on a fast section. Let's have a look here, see if we can pick it up on Castro's car. Yes, there's stricken racing point, so maybe he ran wide, spun it and hit the damage the suspension on the barrier. Wasn't the DM, so we've got a full safety car now. So the majority of the guys have all made their pit stops, and in fact we've got a few more guys making pit stops, it would appear. Let's have a look. Yeah, everyone's made a pit stop. Ultimate Stan opting to pit under the safety car. So he's sacrificed. Oh, and he's he's missed the braking point altogether there. So Ultimate Stan, who was on the medium tyre, has opted to go into the softs. So I think everyone at this stage might just go for it and go on the soft and the mediums. Oliver is on the soft tyres. Let's have a look at this tyre pump situation. Othniel is now up to P3. Incredible, after a drive-through for a jump start, up into P3. Spaceman in P4. Riaz Zudin P5. So Riaz Zudin has really lost out with the pit stop. Ryan Van Doon in 6th. And we've got a few guys with some penalties that I think were picked up under the safety car for maybe collisions under the safety car. So Rat has got a 5-second penalty, Eskimo's got a drive-through penalty, and the rest of the guys you can see there with 3 seconds worth of penalties. Bahrain isn't bad. So we'll have to wait and see. With only 4 laps to go, the guys on the soft tyre are going to have such a pace advantage on the mediums. Yeah, that's so look at the map there. We've got guys in the back of the field, so that's Bahrain and Corleone just coming around the final corner now onto the start-finish straight. So I think we're going to have at least another lap under the safety car. So we're going to have essentially a 3-lap sprint right to the end of the Grand Prix. So another eventful race in Tier 2. So let's have a look at the safety car. We'll know the safety car coming in when the light off. And indeed the safety car is in on this lap, and you can see the lights are off. Would you rather it's now going to back the field up, and he would do really well to win this race with a lot of the cars behind him on the soft compound tyres. And Othniel, for some reason, has fallen back to P4 when he was in P3, so I wonder what happened there, because Spaceman is now in P4. But anyway, let's stick with this. Let's watch these guys, and Would You Rather has now decided now is the time to get the throttle down, and he picked up a penalty for putting that apex in the final corner. And in fact, Othniel's pitting, so penalty. So, Would You Rather leads from Oliver, Spaceman in P3, Rhea Zudden in P4. Not sure what happened to Othniel. Maybe he had a coming together with somebody behind the safety car, but he's in the pits, and what was looking like a promising result for him has been thrown out the window. And we've got Ultimate Stan making a move there in the Twisty S section there of the track. Let's pick back to Oliver. Oliver's on the soft tyres, as Would You Rather on the mediums, so both these guys have got penalties though, so the guys behind Spaceman Reyes will be fancying their chances there. Big lock up there from Oliver going into the left-hander there. Angry Orange for a torrid start. It's always made his way back up into the points, so that's a fantastic recovery drive from Angry Orange. He might not be angry after this. We've got a few position changes at the back. We've got Germanium and Casto. Got our Mercedes wide in that corner. I think that's D'Acunha coming together with somebody. And Reyes got past Spaceman, and Spaceman is coming back at Reyes. Reyes on the soft tyre compared to the medium of the Spaceman. Oh, and good driving from the both of those guys. Reyes up into the podium positions now. We'll switch back to the lead. Would You Rather seems to have the measure of Oliver at this stage. And Ryan Van Doom now has got past Spaceman. So we'll not bother looking at the penalty situation. We'll just wait and see where that leads us at the end, because we've got some exciting battles on track here, potentially for the top 3 positions, all within 2 seconds of each other. And what's happened? We've lost the telemetry here for the gaps. Not sure what's happened there. Let's get back to Zudden. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. That's a Mercedes. I think it's D'Acunha that's stopped on track. He's got going again. And let's look at Zudden making a move on Oliver. And now Rhea Zudden will be hunting down the Williams with Got a lap and 3/4 to go. Although they're coming back at the Mercedes. So the Works Mercedes team gets past the Mercedes B team, if you like. The pink Mercedes, the Pink Panther, which will be Aston Martin next year, of course, with Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel. So Acuna, I think, might be making a last-ditch attempt for fastest lap with a pit stop there, unless he's got damage. So Reyes done. I think he knows he's going to pick up the race win if he keeps the gap to Rijurada, but Rijurada's penalty. Ultimate Stan is up in P6. Let's join on board with Stan, who's catching the Haas of Spaceman. So Stan knows his rival in the championship, Reyes Zudden, is likely to win this race, so he'll be trying to get as many points as he can to minimise the gap. And we'll get through Spaceman. Unfortunately, on the harder compound tyres, there's just runners here. DRS, Stan makes the move even before he reaches turn 1. And Spaceman tries to come back at him, but Stan has the grip and the pace of the soft tyre. And we've got a Red Bull there of Angry Orange and Bennett in the background there. Angry Orange is on the medium tyre, so this is a really impressive out. And look at Jim, is that Jimranium? Yes it is! Jimranium took the both of them. What a move! That's Bennett back at Orange, so I think so he's now gone past Bennett. So clearly the soft tyre is the third to be on in this final lap of the race. Would you rather? And Reyes then. Reyes is going to win the race based on penalties, but I think he would very much like to be the first guy across the checkered flag on track. And would you rather is really struggling to find pace in these mediums. And look at Reyes then, he's right down the gear. He's going for it round the outside into the final corner. That is a fantastic move. Would you rather could do nothing about that. I think he's pretty much conceded defeat there. Reyes Zudden will cross the line to win the race. Would you rather gets P2 and a podium and on 2 for PR Oliver. That's it right from him. Ryan Van Doon 4th, Ultimate Stand 5th, Spaceman 6th, Jimranium with that one overtake on the final 7th, Desert Rat in P8, another points finish for Wayne Bennett in P9, both Alphas getting points there, and Angry Orange in P10 in the Red Bull, followed by his teammate Castor France, Hill Train in the McLaren 12th, Corleone 13th, Psychopath 14th, Duradin 15th, 16th for Vans Racing, 17th for Eskimo, 18th for Othniel, and Acuna will be the final finisher of the race with Basketball Boy DNFing. So another eventful race. The safety car really brought that to life towards the end, including the last corner overtake, a Hamilton Glock moment there for Reyes Zudden. And would you rather for the second race in a row picks up Driver of the Day and the championship point that goes with it, so congratulations to him. A strong showing from the Williams boy tonight. That was a very entertaining race to watch as Reyes Zudden joined on the podium by Would You Rather and Oliver. Congratulations to Oliver, strong outing in the Racing Point on his debut in Tier 2 tonight, who jumped ship from Tier 3. So congratulations to him.